So you have picked out your fabric that you want for your pillow base. So you're gonna take the piece of fabric and fold it over so that you have 2 layers of fabric. You have to have 2 layers because there's 2 sides of the pillow. Take the pattern piece that you had cut out from the piece of paper, the square, and you're gonna place it onto your fabric. So you don't want it hanging over an edge like this. You want it to be kind of in the middle, but you also don't want to waste fabric. So if I took it and I put it right in the middle here, I don't have enough to use for another student here, and I don't have enough to use for another student here, so it's a waste. I would want to kind of not put it too close to an edge, but at least on one side so that I can use this other half for another student. It is very helpful if you do that. So you're gonna lay it down flat and you're gonna take your pins and you're gonna put them in. When you're pinning, you wanna go in and out the same side. So I would push my pin into my paper through my fabric. I could feel it scratching the table. Then I'm gonna hold it with my fingers on this one side and pull up, and the sharp part pops out the same side as the pin head. So I'm gonna do that in, really all you need is all 4 corners. In and out the same side on all 4. I'll give you a little zoomed in look at what it's supposed to look like. That's what it's supposed to look like. And you don't want your pins to hang over any of the edges, because when you go to cut in a second, if your pin is hanging over the edge, you're gonna have to move it, and it's just an extra step for no reason. So I want to take my fabric shears and I want to cut around the outside. So you're not cutting the paper, you're just cutting the outside around the paper so that when you're done, you'll have your fabric, two layers of your fabric, so 2 pieces, cut the same size as your pattern piece, the paper. Take your time with this. If you feel like your shears are not sharp enough, switch them out for another pair. It should be cutting as nicely as mine is right now. You want to make sure your cuts are nice and clean and neat, because it makes it much easier to sew later on. And before you unpin it, you want to take a look and make sure that there's no spots you want to clean up quick before you're done. I'm going to clean up this little bit here, just like that. So now my fabric's the same size as my piece of paper was. I'm going to unpin my pattern piece, and I don't need the pattern piece anymore. And now I have 2 squares that are the exact same size. We're going to be using these next.